at the end of the day, I don't ask for permission. I don't ask anyone to be able to tell stories about sex workers. I don't ask anyone to be able to tell stories about drag kings. I just find out like, hey, have we told this story yet? And then me and my team, we go when we make it. Shout out to Marcus and Brittany.
Hello, my name is Marcus Robinson, and my goal for this project is to highlight people still finding a way to create in this most interesting time we're living in, because art will find a way, by any means. In September, I had the pleasure to edit for a new documentary series entitled Link in Bio. As an editor, you become very familiar with the subject and/or topic. And with the subject being arrows and the topic being sex work, I learned so much.
What up, what up? My name is Arrows, and I use he, they pronouns. I am a producer, model, and musician, and I run a new channel called What a Weekend. That's all about radical representation. Early this year, I was spending a lot of time trying to talk to brands to get this festival funded. And the biggest thing that I had to come up against was everyone was talking about Fry Festival, because they were like, oh God, we're not gonna fund the festival because Fry happened and all this stuff. And then as I was having these conversations, we started to see that there was a pandemic that was taking over the world. And I was like, that seems like it's going to impact my festival, but we have till the summer. It'll be over by the summer. And then by the end of March, when a lot of the brands were like, we kept putting off the meetings and we kind of stopped talking, I realized that the festival wouldn't happen this year, and also that I would be stuck inside. Since I was stuck inside, I was like, well, I want to build something where I'm not bouncing from project to project. Like I wanted an umbrella. Like I wanted something that where all of my projects would just live. And I was thinking, well, let me just start a new YouTube channel, and then all of the show ideas that I have, all the movie ideas that I have, all these different projects that I keep kind of pitching out and giving to brands, let me create one space to do that. And then What a Weekend kind of came out of that. I wanna come out with a bang. Like I don't wanna come out with just one project, because I don't want people to think that this new channel is only gonna do one thing. I started thinking about all of the different shows that I wanted to produce. And I was like, there needs to be a show like this. There needs to be a show like that, And the first show that I started working on was a show called Link in Bio.
Say my name and bounce on it and I'm good.
I want to see this girl, that girl.
People are gonna scrutinize you. Porn, they doing that with your whole.
Now that I've got your attention, which is a docuseries about sex work. And that's because when I lost all that money at the beginning of the year, I was like, let me put this ass on OnlyFans and get some money. And then I learned that there's a huge community of sex workers. And I became a sex worker. I became a part of this community. And the stigma that we face was just too heavy and no one was talking about it. So I was like, well, project one has to be about sex workers. A lot of people are being able to kind of step into themselves and kind of explore their bodies and explore their sensuality and not be. And then I got invited to do this project, and basically I realized that there was no drag king show.
6 different contestants, all drag kings.
Like I'd seen a lot of different drag content on Twitter and TikTok and all this stuff, and everybody was talking about drag culture, but I never saw drag kings represented. And whenever I talked to people about, I was like, hey, have you ever seen a drag king show? No one knew of anything. So I was like, okay, show 2 will be this drag king competition show.
My name is Magic Day, and I'm your host. Welcome, 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 welcome to Drag Me King.
And then finally, I went through a breakup. I went through a breakup this year. It's okay, it happens. Like, you know, breakups are hard. So it's like on top of being stuck in the house by myself, I had nobody to fuck on, I had nobody to talk to. And I was just thinking about like how lonely I would get and how lonely everyone else would get. And so then I came up with the final show, which was Butterflies, which is a queer virtual blind dating show.
Butterflies on the What a Weekend channel. Grab a drink
and a snack, and let's fall in love.
One thing that will drive most people crazy is driving Arrows to continue his radical representation movement.
The one thing that a lot of people judge me about and have commented about, especially this year, is the one thing that drives me, and that is my anger. The passion that I have, and like sometimes when I get really excited, it comes off, the tone is kind of aggressive. And I used to think that was bad. But as I've gotten older, the thing that has kept me going and kept me pursuing projects like these, the hardest, most challenging projects, you know, I did mention that like I didn't have a lot of money to do this shit, you know, like this, like especially when it gets hard, to keep going and to produce and to create, when it feels like I have so much against me. My anger with the ways I had to code switch so much. It's my anger with the ways that I'm prepared at all times for transphobia and transphobic attacks. It's my anger with the industry. So my anger is what keeps me going. My frustration with the fact that I do not want to raise a kid in this world like this makes me wake up and be like, let me get this shit together. Let me tell these shows, let me tell these stories, you know, let me make these shows.
What is radical representation?
But what I mean when I say radical representation is representation that doesn't ask for permission. I think that there's always been like, I think people in certain spaces, from what I've experienced in my short stint in Hollywood, is that like people had to really ask, like, hey, can we please put a black guy this time? Like there's just always this like, well, just a little bit, oh my, like sprinkle in just like, you know, one person of color and then like a lot of white people so we don't lose our money because we don't want to make people uncomfortable. I am a Black, queer, trans, non-binary person. People of color do not make me uncomfortable. Like, I feel way more at ease when I see people like myself on screen, people like myself behind the camera. For some reason, it has been communicated to all of us that having ourselves on screen is radical. And there is nothing more radical than me right here sitting in front of you, like with this hair and this mustache. So since I am radical just by existing, it's radical for me to exist and speak. And so everything that I do is gonna be radical. So yes, What a Weekend, the project, the channel that I run will be dedicated to radical representation because for some reason I am radical, so.
From radical representation to music to producing, Arrow still finds a way to motivate.
Hello, I'm talking to you directly now. If you are struggling to kind of make things or produce things, and just this year has gotten to you, first let me tell you, this year has been really, 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 really fucking hard. And so it's okay. Please know, it takes so many projects in order to find the project that really fits what you want to do. What a Weekend started after I've been on YouTube trying different things for 6 years. But I cannot say how important it is, especially this year. As creative folks, it's so important that you practice kindness with yourself, because it's when you start beating yourself up and bullying yourself for not producing in a global pandemic that has never really happened like this ever before. It's too hard for you to just kind of crumble and not want to do anything. And I don't want that for you. Like, you don't want that for yourself. So practice kindness, develop a habit of doing a little bit of your craft, a little bit of your art every day, every week. And then over time, you'll start to see that you're making something and that it's getting somewhere. Yeah.